on the Tracks case clearly showed us that there is major corruption in Arkansas, but could it also be in Indiana? More specifically, in Delphi.
And they were shipping it through UPS in candle wax. It all over Delphi, Kokomo, down to Rushville. See, like, people have always thought I was crazy with this theory. But Tina and I know what Christy was up to and what the involvements were. And even for Derek not to come out and share some of this for 7 years.
Pathologist Dr. Baden came out of the autopsy and said, "This doesn't look like a self-unaliving. It looks more like a perpetrated red rum." Okay? Also in this report, they tested them for all kind of, not just illegal ones, but even sleep medicines and things like that. All 4 girls were negative. So as far as whether they didn't smell the fire because of some other source, the answer is no. You see how the manipulation goes?
Listen, they had Megan Allen's earrings, or they didn't test those. They didn't test all of the body parts of the girls.
And law enforcement is putting us in this position. So if you don't like it, law enforcement, think about who got us to this situation.
Not going to close his case. He said the house looked like there had been a party, and he said, Michelle, that's an evil, he told our family, that's an evil house. That just, there's evil in that house. That's what the coroner told us. So
wow. Yeah. So, don't be telling people where you are and what you're doing. Don't be telling law enforcement stuff, because it's going to come back to bite you.
No, just skull x-rays, but I can't have an MRI. I don't know what I'm going to do, actually. And, I know Milgram definitely was with me because I saw him off and on through all my life, up until I was about 18 years old. But then I think Delgado only came for the surgery.
Not 5 minutes later, Jerry Holman called me, a recovery streamer.
I cannot declare that Richard Allen is totally innocent.
I really had a... So how, you finished your book?
I did. I'll just know, if you ever get a call from jail, you already know what my charge is. Somewhere, somehow, I have been. For some reason.
There's just so many people that, I want to believe them because they're on the rational side of the argument, and then they'll say something that just...
Well, hello, my silky friends. How are you doing? Yeah, I gave, no real announcement to this. Sorry. I'm gonna do better. I keep saying that. Yeah, I really am. I promise. Silky, what's your email? Let me just type it down in here. It's Silky and Southern. If I'm not typing this right, it's Silky and Southern at at Gmail. It won't let me type the whole thing out. Let me put my glasses on. I'm not even sure that's right. Yeah, that's right. I think. Yeah. No, at Gmail is wrong, but y'all know. Yeah, there's something funny about YouTube. It won't let you type the whole thing out. And my look, I don't know what to do about my lighting is off. My camera, I bought a new camera, and I am green. There is nothing I could do. I tried to put another filter on it, to get a separate app to filter the greenness in my camera, because I actually like that camera better. But the color is so off, and I look like Kermit. And but the filter that it put on there, not only was it $8 a month, I'm like, I'm not paying for this, but it wanted to put all kind of makeup on me and stuff. And the first part of that was oh, that's so cool, because I could literally not have to do anything but brush my hair and it puts my, my makeup on and my lipstick and my eyeshadow and all this kind of stuff, and I could literally just roll out of bed, brush my hair, and hit the live stream. And I thought that would be so nice to not have to spend time doing the big production of looking human. And then I thought, you know what? My luck. They would decide, oh, you didn't pay this month, or my credit card goes out, or how your debit card, because this just happened. It rolls over every 3 years, and then they give you a new one, or it doesn't renew, or whatever, or you have an internet glitch. And I would be sitting here like, yeah, and you'd be like, who is that? Well, this chick has no eyebrows because you can't see them. I was telling my members, like, in real life, my eyebrows are very light because I am a ginger. So I have to really put them on to see them with this camera light. And so you'd be like, huh? Girl got no eyelashes. She got no eyebrows. Yeah, I'm like, that is what would happen. So I'm like, okay, I'm not doing this filter. So here I am. Anyway, so I'm back to the old camera, which does the fuzzy in and out. And I don't know. I give up. I give up. Hey, Rebby Lee, let me go back to the beginning and say hello to y'all, because I just got off a live stream with members, and some of them made it back. I'm glad to see ya. Daniel Berry, whoop whoop. Happy Sunday. I want to do more lives for all of y'all. Carol, hello, hello. How are you? Lisa, we just were talking in the members only. And Rebby Lee. I don't know what I am, but I am waning. Was it the other day that I was trying to, when I was talking about the gibbous moon? I don't even know what a gibbous is. I don't even know. Hello. Oh, yay. Rebby Lee just became a member. Good, because I want to start having our members onlys again probably every other week at least. So y'all keep in mind what y'all well, good. Y'all keep in mind what y'all want to talk about, because it's like I told them tonight. We can talk about anything. It does not have to even be a silky southern tea topic. I had a member, this has been like last year, she was going through a really, really hard time. And we all just as a group, like it was like it was a therapy session, okay? And it was great. Hello, Mar R. I love that picture. How are ya? Buckeye, good to see ya. So I wanted to have some fun tonight. And I know because I don't give a lot of notice, and I had this planned all day. I just didn't get it. I couldn't decide how long the members only was going to go. I wanted to give it at least an hour. But sometimes it ends earlier. It depends on how many people show up and what they're saying. So I didn't actually put it in the works. So then nobody gets the announcement if it's not at least 30 minutes. And, I get, like I said, fly by the seat of your pants, girl. This was my birthday weekend. So thank you to everybody who said happy birthday. And look, I'm going to show you this because I've shown everybody else. Like, one of my coworkers got this. I don't know if you can see it and get the glare. I wanted a big water cup because that's all I drink. This is a rabid possum. It says, first of all, I'm a delight. Now, the warden told me that this was the perfect cup for me. So, I mean, let me just tell y'all, if you don't know, in real life, I'm a little feral. I am. I'm not going to lie. I'm feral. So a coworker bought this for me. So I had to get some decorations. So I had to have like, I got a little flower. I got some, a little thing to put on it. This is Betty Boop. Because she's the possum. I named her Priscilla. And she's fancy. Because even though she's feral and hissing, she's got flowers. She's got like a little flower crown. I like to think that we can be fancy when we're feral, right? We're fancy and feral. I know. Like, look, I'm not fancy about most things, but some things I just like. I like to be tacky, and my cup is one of them. Okay, because in the jail, there's not much personal that I can have. All right, it's very cut and dried. It's very, I'm usually always wearing either navy blue or black. It's not very colorful. All right, my cup, she's fancy. I love it. And yeah, I'm feral. So anyway, okay, so we're going to talk about some things. Conspiracy theories, I don't know. We talked about some things on the members only. I might bring some of those things up, but I would say conspiracy because I have to. Remember, y'all, this is for entertainment purposes only. There's absolutely nothing that I'm saying that could possibly be misconstrued, right? Well, we're going to talk about some stuff, all right? We're going to talk about stuff because it's okay for entertainment purposes to talk about stuff. So that's what we're going to do. And I encourage you to talk about it. So let's go to now, we're just going to get our feet wet here because I thought this was hilarious and I wanted your opinions on this, okay? I saw this on TikTok and I'm like, what? What? How do y'all feel? And this might be opening a can of worms, okay? It might. Let me play this.
2025. Okay. Donald Trump just redefined marriage in a way no one saw coming. If you've been dating for 5 years, congratulations, you are now married. According to a statement released earlier today, any romantic relationship lasting 5 years or more is now a legal marriage under federal law.
Now, did he sign? Is this just something he said? Okay, I don't know.
August 1, people all over the country began receiving official marriage licenses by mail, even if they didn't apply. Trump's team says this will strengthen American families and cut government waste. But legal experts are freaking out because under this rule, live together for 5 years, married, on-off dating for 5 years, married, partner has kids, they're now your legal dependents. That means shared debt, shared custody, even alimony if you split. Social media.
Let me stop this for a second. Have you heard of this? Because I'm looking in the comments and I'm in like, people are saying, I haven't heard that. Like, no, people are freaking out in the comments. I haven't heard it. I live under a rock and this is not something I would look at anyway on national news, but I was flipping through TikTok and I'm like, what?
Media is exploding. TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, calling it the Forced Family Act. Trump's response? You said you love them. Now live with it. Count it, August 1, 2025 rule. How many?
I don't know. And let me go back to where I can see what you're saying. Like, what do y'all think? All right, let me bump this over here. Okay. Oh, thank you for that. Birthday wishes. Love the rabid possum. I don't think possums get rabies. I don't think so either. Yeah, some states have common law, but and Alabama used to for years and years. But you had to, like, you could live together for a long time and you weren't necessarily common law. You could be, like, if you wanted to be, or if you filed taxes together, you were common law. But you didn't, if you didn't ever file taxes or claim to be, or ever say you were married or wear wedding bands or anything like that, you could still just be whatever, not married. But now you can't do that in Alabama because let me see. Um, let's see. How many marriages can one person have then? Hello, Nancy Drew. How are you? It's good to see you too. Um, yeah. Hello, Ninja Warrior. Good to see ya. What are y'all thinking? Hi, Xanthi. I love that name, Xanthi. Xanthi. It's so nice. It's so different. It's fun to say too. Okay, Buckeye says, in my opinion, after 5 years with someone, married or not, you should get an automatic divorce. Not an automatic marriage, an automatic divorce. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Well, here's the thing. I can, 5 years. I don't think you should be forced. I don't think the relationship should be forced on you. However, shouldn't you know in 5 years? I mean, I know. Here's the thing. Y'all. I mean, now it takes time to get to know somebody because then it takes time to fall in love. It takes time to like really know if you're compatible. If that's somebody you can stand for the long haul. But I will promise you, I know within 15 minutes, when I go out on a date, and I haven't done that in a while, my people are really, really pressuring me to do this again. And I'm trying to make myself, and I haven't been able to. Okay. I just can't. But I'm trying. Okay. I'm trying to push myself to actually go and meet somebody. But whatever. I'm busy. That's my excuse. Okay. But regardless, I've done this a lot because I've been single for a very long time now. I can tell you, and so I've been on a lot of dates in the past. Within 15 minutes or less, I will say 15 minutes is actually a big stretch. That's given a person every benefit of the doubt. Within 15 minutes, I can tell you if there is any possibility of a relationship at all, or if I am just bored out of my mind, which is 99.9% the case. All right. Usually I just want to run, you know, it's bad. It's bad. But occasionally you meet somebody who can get past that 15-minute mark, and they don't seem completely stupid. And I say that in the nicest way. It's not that they're always stupid. It's just like we don't think the same. There's just nothing in common, And maybe it's just the area where I'm at. But certainly if I know within 15 minutes if there's any possibility of ever even having a relationship, like I can even think of you as someone I would date within 5 years, way less than that, I am going to know whether you are somebody I can see as being a lifelong partner. So I'm like, 5 years, you should know. And maybe like Buckeye said, maybe you should have that instant divorce, because if in 5 years you have not been able to, pull the trigger on that, then yeah, it's time to say goodbye. It really is. Let me see what y'all are saying. Let's see. I knew after 4 months that I didn't want to marry my ex, but I married him anyway. Oh my God. Ugh, I know. I'm glad you think I'm funny, Ninja Warrior. 5 years is a long time to date. Yes, it's an insane time to date. If you are dating, and I'm just going to tell you this: if you are dating for 5 years, girls, guys, whatever, if you're just dating for 5 years and there's been no move, no proposal, no whatever, no commitment, they don't love you. All right, you're just a placeholder, and I'm sorry to tell you that, but you're a placeholder until something better comes along. They're not going to, unless they realize that nothing better is going to come along, or they're just like, oh, okay, I guess this is it. Um, and you don't want to be that to anybody. So just don't. Um, 45 long years. You've been married for 45 years? That's great. I mean, look, that that is great when you can make it. I'm very impressed by people who can make it that long. And I could have. It's not that I don't think I could have been married that long, but the problem was I was married to an idiot who was the brother of Satan. So that is a big problem, when you're talking about longevity. And this is not something that he doesn't know. Okay. No surprises here. So anyway, so there's that. But anyway, let's see. I admire anyone who can find the right person. Yes, and sometimes it's a lot of commitment. Um. Uh. But yeah, sometimes you just have to. Sometimes you just have to. You have to be committed and like it says, for better or for worse, there are things, but there are deal breakers. All right, there are deal breakers, and to me, infidelity is one. I am not going to give you a second chance. Not going to happen. No, no. That is a deal breaker. There are a few things that are deal breakers, but that is the biggest one. So I'm going to tell you. So are we all on the same page about this? 5 years, but what would you say? So if you're at so now put yourself in this scenario. I'm at 4 years and 9 months into a relationship. In 3 months, you're going to be, according to this, you're going to be considered married. What do you do? What do you do? Is that okay? Or are you going to just get out now? Soon. I mean, it would it would foster maybe more marriages or more breakups. I don't know. I don't think you should. I don't think that politically anybody should say anything. I think people should really. Your mama should have taught you, honey, don't stay too long at the fair. If that man has not put a ring on it within way less than that time, you're a placeholder, right? You're just a placeholder. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not somebody else's queen. So go find that person. Don't be wasting your time with these kids, with these little boys. Don't waste your time. But anyway, things you learn when you're older. All right, so let's look at some actual conspiracies now. We've had some fun. All right, I just thought I'd share that with you because that is insane. Now let's get to wait. Hold on. Why can't I get to where I'm trying to get to? Hold on. Let me see if I can share something different. Oops. I sent that to myself, so now Uh-oh. Oh my. I lost it completely. Hold on just a second. Let me get back into my thing. Okay, there we go. Wait, what did you say? No. Hush. All right. Sorry, y'all. Some things, I have two accounts, so some things come up on one account that really should go to the other account, so I mail it to myself. Now, there are some weird things. Let's talk about hmm. This is a weird conspiracy. Now, let me um understand that sometimes the reason I'm going to have to stop this is because little it's got a weird music in the background, and I'll get a strike for this cuz either I have to play music over it, which is then you're not going to hear, or something. All right. Hey Texas Patty, happy Sunday to you. All right. So this is all right. I've never heard this. What do y'all think? We're just looking at all kind of theories. So let's listen to him.
To the moon isn't funding or danger.
Okay, the reason
it's
we
because
didn't go back
we never
to the
went
moon.
there before. We can't leave. And why? There's a barrier, a ceiling, a dome. The ancients called it the firmament. In 1969, they say man stepped onto the moon. One small step for
now,
man.
If you couldn't catch the beginning of this, they're saying this is why we never went back to the moon. Because there's a dome, a firmament. Now, I'm not talking about the flat earth people, which they say that as well. I don't know. Okay. I hear a lot of stuff. I'm just saying, I hear a lot of stuff. But the Bible does talk about the firmament and stuff. So I'm also looking at the comments in here. So they're saying that there's a dome up there. I don't know.
And then nothing. No buildings, no bases, not even the flag visible from Earth. And you're telling me we can read a license plate from orbit, but not see a flag left on the moon? Since then, tech has exploded. 4K cameras in our pockets, artificial intelligence that writes novels, billionaires launching rockets for fun, but not one permanent station on the moon, not one astronaut living beyond low Earth orbit. They say we're going back, then suddenly it's Mars, then space hotels, always out of reach, always just out of sight.
I mean, I kind of see what they're saying, but all right, then you have to go into that whole thing. I know if you're a conspiracy theorist, all right, or you're a conspiracy entertainer of thoughts. I like to say that's me. I am an entertainer of thoughts. Then you have to go with that whole thing with, I don't even know. I'm afraid sometimes I get in trouble for saying things and I don't even know what I said. But, there's the theory about Stanley Kubrick, the theory. Hopefully y'all know the theory I'm talking about. And so they're like, did we actually go the first time, or was that staged? Why did we want to go back? Why didn't we go back? I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't have wanted to go back. I mean, are you going to plant some flowers? Are we going to it's pretty dismal. I'm just saying. I don't know, but apparently there were plans to go back and we never did. And they're saying that there is a dome, you really can't go much further. So.
And the rockets, they arc, vanish, and land somewhere in the Bermuda Triangle. How convenient. Ancient texts, from Sumeria to Genesis, all mention the firmament. A dome, not metaphorical, literal, a solid barrier separating us from the heavens. If the firmament is real, we're trapped. A prison planet. If it's not, then they've been lying since day one. Either way, we're not leaving Earth, not now, not ever.
Again. Like he said, for entertainment purposes only. All right, what do y'all think? Let me read what y'all are saying. Okay. Let's see. Mars says space is fake. Texas Patty says we never went. It was all PRP. Or we can't go to other planets on rockets. It's called the radiation belt. There you go. Propaganda. No one has ever been to the moon. I mean, I don't want to go, but that's just me. But I will tell you this: that whole fiasco a couple of months ago with that thing up in the ladies that went. That's, to me, that was the most ridiculous thing in the world. If you think that I believe that, I just don't. I just don't. All right, I don't know what. I don't even understand what that was about. Do y'all? Because I don't. I don't even get it. Why? Why was that even a thing? Um. So I don't. I mean, I don't know. So y'all don't. The moon is transparent. I don't know if it, I don't know. The whole thing is, I, I've heard other things, not necessarily about. I mean, I've heard other things about the firmament, not other necessarily about the dome, but I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Now, how far space goes, I mean, I literally don't know. Honestly, we have enough problems on our planet. But I'm not really that concerned. However, I will say this. I now when I was a kid, the going to the moon thing was, it was just a standard of what we believe. Now looking at things the way, the shadows, the everything that we know, I'm like, yeah, I don't think that was I don't think that was actual film of the moon. But let's see. So Mars says you've seen a star through it before. I thought I was tripping. Wow. I tell you what, I saw one time. I'll tell you, this is the God's honest truth. David Rogers. Hey, David. The moon landing was fake. However, it's been said many, many times before they are mining on the dark side. Have been. Now, that would not surprise me. What are they mining, David? I do not think. I think they did not have the technology in '69. I don't either. I really don't. Yeah, Ninja Warrior. It was what Buckeye says, to win the space race because of Russia. Whoever dies with the most toys wins. I mean, pretty much. But no, really, what they were talking about is you had to win the space race. I don't know. This was during the Cold War. It really so silly. Such a silly concept. Whoever gets to the moon first wins. But we had to be the first. I don't think it was. I'm with you, David. I think it was fake. Now, that being said, I don't know what they're mining up there, but that wouldn't surprise me at all. I will say this, though. This is, oh my gosh, if ever, I wished that I had filmed with my phone something. And now I know, and I say I'm never going to do it again, but you think when you see something happen like this is going to be all over the news, it doesn't matter, like 10 million people are going to have this video, so I'm not going to do it. This has been probably, I'm guessing around 2019. It wasn't 2020 yet. So it was 2017, 2018, 2019, somewhere around there. I was stopping at a local, kind of like a hardware store. It was in the spring, and I was looking for something in particular. I pulled out in the parking lot and I went to go in. And as I was getting out of the car, I saw, you know, how I think it's always fascinating when you see the moon out and it's daylight. You know, you see the sun in one place and then you see the moon. It's so cool to me. And so as I was getting out of the car, I saw the moon, and it was not a full one, but it was like maybe 3/4 moon. It was pretty big. And so I am looking at it because it looks a certain way. And I was thinking, oh, how cool. The moon is out. So I shut the door to the car and I look over. The moon is on this side. And I look over as I'm slamming the door, and the moon is over here. And I'm like, what? And I look back and the moon is there. And I look at, and it's over there as well. And I'm not looking through glass. I'm looking at the sky and I'm doing this number. And I'm like, it looks identical. The same moon that's right here is also right there. And I'm like, it's like 11 o'clock in the morning. And the sun is somewhere else. I was like, what the heck? And it was very windy, and it was a cold wind because it was spring. And I thought I need to film this. And then I thought, no, it's going to be, I don't know what's going on, but it's going to be all over the news tonight. And I thought, it's cold, it's windy, I'm not filming this. And I ran in the store and got what I needed and left. And I was shocked when it wasn't on the news. And I was like, calling my friends, did y'all see that? Did y'all see anything about this phenomenon that happened in the sky today? And everybody thought I was nuts. And I'm like, no, like, oh my gosh. I wish I had filmed that. I have no explanation to what that was, but I'm literally looking at the sky, seeing two, not just like a moon and then another moon, the identical same moon. It was like a glitch in the Matrix. Like, okay, this, because it was weird looking. Like, you know, it wasn't just a white ball. It had certain, you know, a certain pattern, certain dark spots, and whatever. It was weird. It was so weird. Yeah, glitch. That's what I thought. And I wish to goodness that I had taken a video of it. Of course, maybe that was a good idea that I didn't, because I might, you know, have disappeared. You never know. Might have ended up somewhere I didn't want to end up. All right, so let's look at some more. Let's see. Now, this is a weird one. Okay. Have y'all heard about, this is a glitter conspiracy? I'm like, what? I don't understand glitter. Yeah, a glitter conspiracy. And I might have to, if I talk over this a little bit, or if I stop it, it is because of the sounds in the background. Make sure y'all are seeing this. Nope, you're not. Hold on. The great glitter conspiracy. It's weird. I've never heard of this before. I'm like, come on.
Called the glitter conspiracy. So there's these main glitter manufacturing, it's called Glitter X, and one guy from the New York Times went, and it was like weirdly top secret. He was talking to one of the higher ups. Yeah,
because there's a shortage.
Yeah, so
that's the biggest thing.
There's a shortage in the world.
He started talking to him just because
First of all, did y'all know that there was glitter shortage? Because I was unaware. I don't seem to have run out of glitter. Not that I use it that much, but I was unaware.
He's like, okay, so there's a shortage. What's happening? Who's your bit? Like, he's just asking questions.
Yeah. And so he asked if he can get a tour of the place. The guy's like, absolutely not. He said you can't. He said you can't see the glitter being made.
Why?
He said you can't even be in a room next to it and hear how it's being made.
What?
You can know nothing about the process.
Really weird, right?
What about the sound of it being made would
Don't know.
ruin
What if it's
the
just
secret?
aliens? But he asked the lady, who are the biggest buyers? She said, there's one company that is the biggest buyer.
What are they trying to say? Like, you can't even hear it being made. Like, is it aliens? Like, do they shake and the glitter falls off? Like, this is the silliest thing to me.
of all glitter. And he says, what is it? And she's like, I can't tell you that.
Oh my gosh.
And she said, if I looked at it, would I know it's glitter? Talking about the product that they use this glitter in, the main buyer of glitter. And she said, no, not really. And then she said, they don't want anyone to know that it is glitter.
That's the conspiracy type of this.
It's called the glitter conspiracy.
That what is glitter? Can anybody tell me? I thought it was just like, I don't know what I thought it was. You know, glitter's been around a long time, and now there's like holographic glitter and stuff like that because there's all kinds of glitter. Like I'm looking at the comments on this. Okay, and one person says it's because most big companies buy illegally sourced mica. Mica is used for glitter. There's a documentary about it. Okay, I can see that. I mean, I didn't know that there was a shortage of mica, but I do understand mica because I love rocks. Like, I'm such a nerd. Y'all just have no idea. Mica is very shiny. I didn't know that had anything to do with glitter, but it is. It's flaky and it's shiny. And it's also, mica is a lot of makeup products as well. I don't know.
It's
I
called
don't
the
know.
glitter.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to read all the responses over here. It's most likely NASA buying stars. It's probably something we eat. Most of it isn't proper food anyway. Oh, that reminds me, y'all. Oh my God. I gotta tell y'all something. This is so weird. Let me see what y'all are saying though. Speaking of weird things that we're eating. Let's see. Walmart and Hobby Lobby have a ton of glitter. Yeah. Now, I will tell you this though. Have y'all seen? I have seen have you seen the videos of the people taking the Walmart chicken and like shredding it with a fork, like the raw chicken, and saying this isn't chicken? Because hold on just a second. Have you ever watched? I have not. I'm not even sure what that is. Huh. Okay. But no, I watched this like last year. I watched this woman on TikTok and I'm like, this is crazy. She's like, I don't think this is meat. So she's taking a fork and she's got like raw chicken and she's shredding it. Now, if you are a cook, you know that chicken is, you know what muscle is. I mean, you know, but chicken is muscle, right? The chicken meat. And it's shredded and it shouldn't shred like that. So she throws it away. And I'm like, I don't think so. So it just so happened I had some Walmart chicken in my freezer. So I defrosted it and I was like, I'm going to find out if this is true. I'm thinking it's crap. So because she's like, is it 3D printed? Like, this is not meat. And when I defrosted mine, I did the same thing. And I took a fork. Now, again, y'all, this is just raw. It should have a sinew. You know, a muscle is a muscle. And it shredded, like, when I tell you it shredded, like, it was gooey. It shredded into, like, I don't know, sludge. And I looked at it and I was like, in all the years that I have, you know, cooked raw chicken, cut it up, I've never seen chicken act like this. So I did the same thing she did. I was like, in the garbage with you. And I have not bought chicken at Walmart since. Now, today, and I think, I'm trying to think, most likely I got this at Sam's Club and I didn't even think about this. Because I went a few weeks ago and I've been buying some stuff there like in bulk. It's actually saving me a lot of money. And so I was looking for meals and I saw this chicken. We're a Mexican food loving family. So I saw this chicken that was, like vacuum packed, and it was in verde sauce, and it was like chunks of chicken, and I was like, "Oh man, that's so easy. Like you just, it's seasoned, it's cut. All I have to do is pop it open and throw it in the skillet, and then we're going to have meat for tacos or whatever." So I finally got around to defrosting it today, and I when I defrosted it and pulled it out of the package, it was sludge. The whole thing was sludge. And I'm like, I thought at first there would be chunks of chicken and just like the verde sauce. I thought at first it was the sauce that was sludgy, but then there was no chunks of chicken, like none. When I tell you, it was like pouring, what was it like? Maybe like pouring pancake batter out. Like I had to squeeze the bag and like you do to get all of the stuff out of there. And so I had a little bit of olive oil in the skillet, and I squeezed it out, and I'm like, I don't even know what's going to happen to this, because I'm thinking it's soupy, like you're going to have a lot of sauce in here, right? And it's y'all. So I had it turned up pretty high, and as soon as it started cooking, all of that sludge started puffing up, and it turned into chicken. Like it puffed up, and as it fried, it turned into hard pieces of chicken, and I had to cut it. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I don't know what this is, but this is not chicken. It is not chicken. It says it's chicken, but it doesn't act like chicken. And I can tell you something, if you puree a chicken and you put it in a skillet, it doesn't no. It doesn't puff. I don't know. I'm scared. It's still sitting in the skillet. Like I'm going to have a banana sandwich for supper. I am not eating that stuff. Like to each his own. Like y'all going to do what you want. I'm not touching that. I don't know what it is. It's scary. And then I thought, you know what? It's the only place I could have gotten that, because it's not on the things that I order from Aldi, because I almost always shop exclusively at Aldi for meats. But I got that somewhere else, and it had to be Sam's. I'm just telling y'all. Watch out. What they feeding you? It ain't meat. Let's see. You're freaked out about salmon having parasite. I didn't know salmon had parasite. I know pork does. Oh my God. Yeah, glitter doesn't come out of anything. So please send it to your ex. True, Nancy Drew. They should have taken glitter to the moon so we would know. Oh my God. Yes, stop buying that stuff. Talking about that meat. Yes. Yes. I don't know. Uncle Ben's instant chicken. Honestly, that's what it's like. Hi, Tammy Fayette. How are you doing? Yeah, it is scary. And that was just as I thought about that, and I thought about our topic tonight. I thought I've got to let them know this is not food. I don't know what it is. It's something that they are trying to sell us that I don't know. Like I that's the thing. What is it made out of? I mean, I seasoned it. Maybe it's like, I'm hoping best case scenario it's like vegetarian, but it doesn't say that. Like if it said, vegetarian meat or all however it says it, I would have been okay with that. But it doesn't. It says chicken in verde sauce. But y'all, that ain't chicken. I don't know what it is. But it ain't chicken. I don't know. All right. So I just thought I'd let y'all know. Because I got another packet of it in some other kind of sauce, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm afraid to give it to my cats. Like, I don't want them to die neither. All right. Let's go on to some. Oh, this one is horrible. Horrible. We probably got a bunch of. Well, no, before we go to that one, let's go to this one. Let me get to my media. All right. Let's try this one. This one says the world ended in 2012. Now, I have heard this over and over and over. Here are the reasons. All right. If you haven't heard this, listen.
The world ended in 2012. Well, a lot of people believe so. And not in the Hollywood fireballs and explosions way. No, they believe something far stranger happened. That reality itself shifted. And there is a good reason to believe so. The Mayan calendar didn't mark the end of the planet. It marked the end of the timeline we knew. Think about it. Since 2012, doesn't the world feel off? Time.
Now, I will say this, the world feels off, but I didn't notice it in 2012. But then again, in 2012, I was going through a lot of horrendous stuff. So, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, would I have noticed? I don't know. But it is definitely, to me, the last couple of years, especially this year, is off the charts. Like, if you told me that I was, in the Matrix, like literally had a plug in my back right now, I'd be like, yeah, well, that would explain this crap. Right?
Time feels faster. Memories don't match. Small details, brands, movie lines, even history itself have changed. People call it the Mandela effect. I call it leakage. Some believe CERN, in their hunt for the God particle, didn't just smash atoms, but smashed reality. They tore a tiny hole in the fabric of existence, and we slipped into a copy that looks the same.
Have y'all heard that about CERN and the Mandela effect? I assume most of y'all probably know about the Mandela effect, but I've heard that over and over, that because of 2012, saying something about the Mandela effect, the first known time that it was written of or spoken of was after 2012. So, and like I said, I'm assuming y'all all know what I'm talking about. Come on.
But isn't. That's why the world feels less real, more chaotic, more artificial. That's why every year since then feels like a fever dream. Maybe the original Earth is gone. Maybe we're the ghosts now, drifting through a simulation built to keep us calm. But
I'll tell you something. If it's a simulation, I need a better one. Okay? But let me stop it right there because the music's getting louder. And tell me what you think. Have you heard that? I've heard many, many theories on that the world ended in 2012. A lot of people say that. I don't, and they give a lot of reasons, not just because things feel off, but because of the Mayan calendar and all kinds of whatnot. What? Look up today's date in Ethiopia. It's 2017 there. Really? Wow. Wow. Okay. Would I go back to 2017? No. No. 2017. Things were improving for me, but they still weren't great. Oh, hey, Deb. You've been listening while cleaning the windows. Look at you. I admire people who can do that. I'm usually, well, I don't know. I do that when I'm driving. I can listen to a podcast while I'm driving. Let me see what y'all are saying. Let me keep going. Buckeye says, well, As the World Turns ended in 2010. Well, I don't know. Did everything end then? Hello, Shan. Shan Wall, hello. A better simulation is needed. Dear God and a half. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm just telling you, this year has been so bad. And then one of these theories that I'm going to throw up there sometime before we get done, it is really worrisome because of what they're predicting for this fall. I'm like, okay. Um, So I don't know. Do y'all think? What do y'all think? Any possibility? A lot of people say that the world did end in 2012, and what happened is because of CERN. Whatever we moved to another timeline. Okay, that life as we knew it, the old us, the old world, really went into a different, like a parallel, because we continue, and so that's why the glitches in the well, not necessarily, but it explains some of the glitches in the matrix and explains the Mandela effect. Like, some of us remember the old world. um when it comes to the Mandela effect, I remember almost all of the old ones, and I'm like, it really throws me sometimes. It messes with me. As a matter of fact, I don't know, y'all might remember this. What really, really threw me for a loop was, I believed for decades, okay, literally for decades, I believed that Boy George was dead. Um, I remember because I was back in the day. Um, I remember being a youngster and being, I didn't, people are like, you didn't know. No, I didn't know. I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything about the world. Okay. I just liked music. And I thought that Culture Club was phenomenal, which I still like Culture Club. Okay. Still like those old songs. I loved the song Karma Chameleon. I had, that was my favorite one. I loved Boy George. And, I didn't think one way or another about people and their preferences or how they live their life. And also back in that time, all right, people dressed all kind of ways and it didn't mean anything. So I didn't necessarily think anything. Like, people were out there wilding. And you're looking at from the eyes of a child. I don't know. Yeah, I liked his music. I thought he was cool. So I get older, and I remember. Here's the thing: I remember reading an article. I remember reading several articles. One about that he was in very poor health due to some bad decisions. I guess you would maybe some bad health care. Let's put it that way: some bad health care. I'm being careful here the way I say that, but bad health care. Um, and I was like, okay. And so I heard that he was not doing well. And then later on, a year or two later, I heard that he had passed away. And, I had more understanding of the situation and disease process at that time. But I was devastated. I was like, oh my God, that's horrible. That is a horrible thing to happen to anybody. So I spent decades thinking that Boy George was dead forever. I never heard of him. I never saw anything with him in it. I never heard of any music. So fast forward to about 4 or 5 years ago, I'm having a conversation with my daughter who has just discovered Culture Club. And I'm like, yeah, man, I used to love it. As a matter of fact, she bought me a 33 album just as a keepsake when she found out that, I had been a huge Culture Club fan. And she's like, here, Mom, I bought you this vinyl. I'm like, oh, this is so cool. Thank you. And I said, yeah, man, it's just, like it broke my heart about Boy George. And she's like, what are you talking about? And I said, that he passed away and this is how he passed away. And she's like, Mom, he's not dead. I'm like, yeah, he is. I remember. Because I was brokenhearted over it. And she's like, no. And you know what? He's not dead. And he hasn't been dead, and he has had music out. So how did I not hear or see, and how did everything I heard and saw for decades say that he was dead? That still blows my mind. And I am very, very happy to see that he is not dead and that he's on all these shows and that he's still singing. And, I'm like, hey, that's a relief. I'm very glad that he's still breathing and doing well. But it's so weird to me because just like the thing where people, and I'm one of those ones that I swore Nelson Mandela was dead also. What happened to us? So is it one of those things? Did we fall apart? What happened? Let's see. Hey, sweet dude Chibi, how you doing? Tammy says, I thought John Denver was dead by plane crash long before he actually died in a plane crash. Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah, isn't that crazy? I've had things like, and I can't think who, but I've had things like that to happen to me where you hear about something, but you're like, yeah, I thought that happened a couple of years ago. It's like when Jimmy Carter died. I thought that man had been dead for years. Like, I remembered him dying too. I'm like, well, he done been dead. He been dead a long time. Like, where was I don't understand. The last few years have been hell. Yes. I know. Stop the bus. Let me off. Yeah. And even though I wasn't a huge Britney fan, I remember that. I remember that too. The headset, like, gosh. My boss worked at CERN and they assured me they weren't doing weird stuff. If y'all haven't seen stuff about CERN, oh my god. You didn't know about the village people. Hey, I didn't either. You know what? You just look, you just think that people are people and they're eccentric. Okay? That's just the way I always thought of people are people and they're eccentric and do what you want. I didn't really even understand what that was. I really didn't know. Now it's like, I don't care what you do. I don't want to know what you do, whatever you do. I don't want to hear about it on either side. Okay? Some stuff just needs to be needs to be private. Okay? Just keep it that way. I don't want to know about nobody. Okay, it's 4:12 a.m. August 25th. So where was that Ethiopia 2017? Where does that come from? So he almost died. Well, here's the thing. That is not what I heard that he died from. But nevertheless, I am glad that he made it. Did you really want to hurt me? Yeah, George Michael passed away. No, because George Michael, when I heard George Michael wasn't that long ago. It doesn't seem like it was that long ago. But Boy George, get this out. Boy George, like, when I tell you, I thought it was like the early 90s. To me, it was decades ago. Enough that I was just like, oh my God. Wasn't that long I was just listening to him. Go to the YMCA and hang out with all the boys. Right, Josh? How you doing? Look, you know what? I didn't get it. I didn't get it. Like, I was quite an adult before somebody had explained to me what that song was about. I'm like, huh? I didn't get it. You know, innocence. I never thought about it. But even if even if I had really thought about it, like, still, you just hanging out with the guys. I didn't think it was like prison. Hanging out with the guys in my line of work means something totally different. In jail. Different. Okay? Very different. But anyway, yeah, it was fun. Oh my gosh. George Michael died in the men's room? Really? Yeah, I want to tell you, I did know about his preferences though, because that was heartbreaking to me. As a young person, I was like, oh, he's so pretty. Dadgummit. Like I ever had a chance with him, but whatever. Okay. Robin says, I used to love to play Sims. If our life is just a simulation, I need a cheat code. Me too. Me too. But here's the thing. I've always said, like, if we're in the Matrix, if we're, all these people that say we make our own, reality, like, if that's true, like, I need a cheat code. I really could do a much better job than I'm doing. I feel like I am letting myself down if that's the truth. All right, so let's see here. So there's that. So consensus. Did we end in 2012? Is that why we're so messed up? Or is that just a bunch of I don't know, hooey? I agree. George Michael is a really great voice, yeah. He really was. All right, let's see what else we've got. In the conspiracy. Oh, now this isn't a conspiracy. This is horrible. This is outright horrible. And this is why I have no trust for anything. I'm getting to stop. It's not like I had much trust anyway. But look, and that reminds me of something else I saw, but I think I saved that video to my spooky channel because I did a it wasn't a review. I think people thought it was a review of the Labubu dolls. It wasn't a review. It was just, I don't know. It was a scary thing. And then somebody's like, I would pay $1,000 to see you review this. I'm like, oh, well, for $1,000, I might do it. All right. But here is this. Very, very disturbing.
Heard about that woman who was my daughter actually sent me the video of this on TikTok. Crazy, y'all. Listen to this. So she was sleeping in her bed and she has one of those upright chargers. She was charging her phone while she was sleeping, so of course her phone was upright on the charger facing towards her bed. And she had like the sound of the rain and thunder or whatever on her phone to help her go to sleep, which I do that myself. And she says she's a light sleeper. And she woke up to the sound of like a microphone moving around or something. So she happened to look over and there was a man. There was a man that was watching her sleep on her phone. He was watching her sleep that whole entire time, I guess. So she said she immediately jumped up, turned her phone away from her so he couldn't see her. And when she did that, y'all, he said come back. He told her to come back. oh my goodness. Like, so he's told her to come back. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Y'all. First of all, I don't know what would have been the most disturbing for me. I mean, I try to sleep with my phone face down as far away, and I do listen to sounds a lot at night, but I do that on my TV, which is probably watching me too, honestly. But my phone is just in case somebody from work calls me, because I'm on call 24/7 forever. But if somebody calls me or needs me, the jail needs me, then I wouldn't be able to hear the phone. So, but I try to sleep with it as far away from me as I can, but still within reach. But if I was charging my phone, first of all, the first thing I'm going to be upset about is that some man is watching me, I'm sure, drooling and snoring. I'm going to be doing some kind of something like that. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be humiliated. And then, I'm going to be angry. Like, how dare you? I'm probably going to say some very not nice things and throat punch my phone. And then wonder, like, somewhere somebody has got this on repeat and they're laughing until they're peeing their pants at my snoring and my drooling. And like they're just waiting for a time for me to run for public office or something so they can bring out this humiliating video, because I assure you there are no other kind of humiliating videos, but something like that. I'm like, why? And then somebody telling me to come back. Oh my God. Actually, I really shouldn't worry about that, because they wouldn't be telling me to come back. They'd be like, girl, y'all, you got to see a doctor. You need to see somebody. Lady, hey, lady. But still, that's terrifying. Like, you just really just go on, it's just because I have done that back in, in past years. And especially if I go on vacation somewhere, I will put on a like rain or something. If I can't sleep, I'll put it on my phone. Now it's not usually facing me, but I have the rain sounds on. So like, if I woke up in the middle of the night, like, what would y'all do? I'm just wondering what would happen. Let's see. I think all of those devices watch us. I get rid of Alexa because it kept trying to be my friend and engage me in conversations. Yeah, I don't think Alexa ever did that. But I'll tell you what I do notice, and I'm not even going to say the name, because I'll be at work sometimes having a conversation with somebody, a coworker, whatever, and then I see my phone. It's over there, and I have said nothing that sounds like that word that brings her up to talk. Nothing even close. And I see the lighting around my iPhone. I see the little, because when you say, hey, you, and it's just lit up and it's listening. And it did that last week. And I'm like, excuse me, what are you doing? Enjoyer says I drool too. It's nice to know somebody else does. But seriously, it's like you have to wonder all the places, which when I go anywhere, I usually do not stay at a hotel. I always stay at an Airbnb. It's very rare that I ever stay at a hotel. And I usually stay at Airbnbs that are kind of out of the way. And I'm very, very picky about which ones I stay at. But even there, you cannot. You can't be too careful. I'm just saying. So, if you're doing that, if you've got something. So that reminds me, I told you I'd tell you something else. Buckeye says, I have a horror of the phone filming me at night. Maybe Kat will turn it on and we'll appear on Facebook. I do too. I used to all the time. You know why? Because I used to be afraid of that as well. When it was so easy, I hit Facebook Live one time in the middle of the night. I was trying to see what time it was or something. And I'm hardly ever on Facebook anymore. Like I just don't like it. And I really, if there are a few people that I like to keep up with, I don't see. So every once in a while, I'll check in on Facebook and see what's going on. Mostly I look up stuff having to do with my job. But most of the people that I care about, I see in real life. So I don't need to see them on Facebook. But at this time I was using Facebook a lot and it was so easy to just like, and so I'm trying to like look at the time or whatever, and I'm just trying to open my phone, and next thing you know, I'm on Facebook Live and it's like 2 a.m. and I'm like, how only me, only I could do something so stupid. And I'm just like, hallelujah, thank you Jesus, my phone was not facing me, because this is really what you want to look like, your hair standing up and you're doing this, right in the middle of the night, and your friends are like, was that you? No, it was my evil twin. That we shall not speak of her. But yeah, I don't know. I had that same fear though, Buckeye. I really did. That's why the Facebook app is never something. Now it's buried in a like a little thing in my phone, so like I can't just easily get to it and do that. I have to make a concentrated effort. But then again, I sleepwalk, so who knows what I do at night. Robin says there's a sleep app you can put on your phone that records your sleep quality. I considered it, but what if I talk in my sleep and AI joins the conversation or a ghost? Yeah, right? I know. Oh my gosh. I accidentally went live on Facebook and my daughter had to come down and tell me. Yeah. Like, see, things that I used to be really afraid of. And like I said, now I can't do it because I put it on my iPhone. I put it inside of a cluster. So I can't just hit that button. But that reminded me, I was going to tell you this. Okay. The Labubus. That is the weirdest word. If you don't know about the Labubus, I covered it on my other channel. It's these little stuffed thingies that grown adult women, I understand kids getting crazy. Grown adult women are having breakdowns over these little Labubu dolls, and they look scary. I mean, I saw them at the UFO. I didn't tell y'all about that. My birthday weekend, I went to a UFO festival this weekend because why not, right? And but anyway, the one little vendor had all these actual Labubus hanging down there, and so I never really seen one in person. So I'm looking at them. I'm like, they're kind of creepy, but I kind of get it. I'm not really like I'm whatever, but so I'm watching videos of all these people cutting their Labubus open because they're having problems. Now I don't know, but they're showing them open them from a sealed box. I don't know. Again, it looks real, and they're finding these tiny little cameras or I don't know if it's a camera, it's a little electronic device inside these things. Now these Labubus do not do anything electronic. So why would they have are they trackers? Are they GPS? What are they? I don't know. But again, it's very disconcerting. Apparently nobody trusts their phone. Absolutely not. No way. Okay. All right. So let's go on to some more conspiracies. All right. This one. Oh, okay. I think this one right here, I have to turn off the sound. There's a couple of them I have to turn off the sound completely. Yeah, this is one. Okay. So let me just go up here. And I guess I can read it out. So this one says, I asked ChatGPT to tell me something humans aren't supposed to know. And this is what they said. Wait, hold on. Let me get that little sound off here before I get a strike. All right. Okay. Oh, wait. Here's something that toes the line. That's so funny, the way they spelled that. Between mystery and forbidden knowledge, not in a supernatural sense, but in a way that challenges how we see reality. All right. It says you are not experiencing the world directly. You are experiencing your brain's best guess. Everything you see, feel, hear, and think is a simulation generated inside your brain. Your senses take in raw data, light, sound, vibration, chemicals, but it's your brain that interprets all of it into something coherent. You don't see reality, you see a story crafted by your brain that helps you survive. Now, again, brain, get it together because I don't like this. All right? I can do better. We can do better. If this is true, we can do better. But let's go on. This means the color red, it doesn't exist outside your mind. It's your brain's way of labeling a certain wavelength of light. That sense of time flowing, a construction. What about getting older? Can we undo that too? Even yourself, your identity is a narrative your brain updates constantly to make sense of your actions. Good luck with that. Wait. Oh, no. Hold on. I hate when I do that. Okay. Why aren't, oh, well, no. Stop. Why aren't humans supposed to know this? Because our entire civilization, language, religion, love, money is built on the illusion that reality is objective and shared. But behind the curtain, we're all trapped inside our own minds, guessing what's real. So that would be like the Matrix, right? Do we have the plug in our back? Was it in his back, in his head? Was it in his head or in his back? I don't know. I don't like this Matrix. I'm just saying. All right, let's go deeper. Think of this as peeling back layers of reality most people never question. You live inside a hallucination. Well, that figures. This isn't metaphorical. Neuroscientists now argue that consciousness is a controlled hallucination. Your brain is locked in a dark skull. Well, some people's are really dark. It has never seen light, never touched anything. It only gets electric signals from nerves. From that, it builds a model, a 3D simulation of the world, and constantly updates it to stay alive. You're not seeing the world, you're seeing what your brain thinks the world probably looks like. Well, how come we all see it alike? Or are all of y'all just an imagination? Like, am I just imagining all of y'all? Because otherwise, we all see it together. This is called predictive processing. Your brain predicts what it expects to happen, then compares it to what your senses say. Reality is just whatever prediction survives the test. Now, again, this is according to ChatGPT. Even time and space are up for debate. We treat time as this solid flowing thing, past, present, and future, but physics doesn't agree. Now, I also don't, I believe that time and space is a construct that we won't always be in. That's just me. Einstein showed that time is relative. It stretches and shrinks depending on gravity and speed. A second, I don't know what that's supposed to be. You might be different than a second for someone else near a black hole. Even worse, quantum mechanics suggests time might not be fundamental, it's emergent, a side effect of something deeper we don't understand yet. So I don't know. Let me see. We're back at the beginning. That voice in your head, the I you think you are, it's not a core you, it's a story. The brain is a bundle of competing systems. The self is just the narrative center, trying to make sense of what all the parts are doing. Who you are is not constant. It's constantly being updated by memory, mood, culture, hormones, trauma. That means the person you were 10 years ago, not just different, a different person. Not completely. Same body, new mind. The new you is a useful fiction. I mean, the world might not exist without you. Of course not. I don't know. Like, what do y'all think? Let me stop right there because we have already hit so many. Like, this is so much. But I mean, it's basically saying, if you go by this, you're basically saying the world is a matrix. And I'm like, I mean, here's the thing. Do I have a problem with the world being matrix? Not really, except if I'm creating it, it sucks. I could have done so much better. Because what I believe that we're here for has nothing to do with whether it's real or a construct of the mind. Because to me, for my set of beliefs, I believe that it's evolution of the soul. So if it's evolution of the soul, does it really matter if this is real or if it's a construct? No, not really. Sounds like gibberish. Oh my gosh. Yeah, some of it. I mean, but I know what they're saying. But you know what is crazy to me is that I just heard this somewhere in the last couple of days. And what bothers me is I know a lot of people that talk to Chat GPT. Now, I don't, like I told you, my AI is Manus, and I don't talk to Manus like a friend. I talk to Manus for information, like an encyclopedia. Like, I make him work. Like, I need this information. Like, come on, Manus, let's work. I don't have conversations like, and I don't ask questions like that. However, I do know people who have very deep and thoughtful conversations with their chatbots, with their AIs, and I'm like, it bothers me. Now, the other day, I heard that it is now a thing where you could potentially, in other words, your conversations with your AI could be dragged into court to show that you are insane. Well, I'm sure it wouldn't take that much for me, but I'm not going to add fuel to the fire by talking to a bot. But I think about people who use them as therapy and stuff. Like, what if you're just, let's say hypothetically, if you were writing a character, let's say you were writing a character to a book or, something like that. So you were using a bot just to develop a character and you're saying, you have all of these dark thoughts or whatever kind of character you're developing. And then somebody gets a hold of that and they drag you into court saying this is you. And you're like, no, this is what I was doing. Like, how convoluted is that? And where could this, lead? So then are we going to be dragged into court? What if I'm just having a bad day And again, I'm not a person who talks to bots, but if I was, what if I just wanted to let off some steam and I said something horrendous? Then are the police going to show up? Like, you told your bot this? No, but do you understand sarcasm? Where does it end? Because I'm pretty sure, like in the great beyond, and I mean in the cyber world, these bots are out here spying on us like anything else. I mean, um, what's chat smoking? I don't know. I've heard a lot of stuff that I've heard a lot of things like that. And honestly, if you watch the movie The Matrix, you kind of see Neo in his little world. If you go deep into that and you go deep into philosophy, you can get into that point of, is this real? Is it not real? I mean, to me, it doesn't really matter. Vicky Shipman, hello from Alaska. Hello, Alaska. Are you still in your summer in Alaska? I know it's like you have a couple of nice, I guess a couple of nice months where it's warm. I have never been to Alaska. Yes, Xanthi, it is terrifying. Somebody mentioned, what time is it? Oh, we still got a little bit of time. Somebody mentioned the aliens. So I do have let me see if this is it. Let me look real quick. Okay. Yeah, I do have a video about that, and I may have to turn off the sound. We'll see if it's making noise. Because this is very pertinent. Okay.
Project designed to.
Yes, I do have to. Okay, let me slow this down. I love the background music, but I can't play it. Okay. It's really creepy. I mean, it's a cute song, but it's creepy. So and this is only a minute and 20 seconds. So I can go back to the beginning. Come on, go back to the beginning. Go. There we go. All right. So it says, in 1994, a government insider claimed that there's a project designed to fake the end of the world using Project Bluebeam. First, no one believed the plan to simulate an alien invasion. Where have we heard that before? All right. So, first of all, we've talked about Project Bluebeam a lot on here from time to time, and that's something that Carol Stanhope, when she's in the chat, she can tell you about some of that too, because she was MK Ultra'd. But something that they've used where she was at in Florida. But she said that Project Bluebeam, it's stuff that they do now with the aliens. So they're talking about how in 1994, they were saying that Project Bluebeam was going to end the world by basically having us believe that these spacecrafts and aliens are coming to wreak havoc on the world. So I can't read fast enough. So, but you're going to be able to hear voices. You're going to see them. Okay. So read this real quick. So they were actually hearing voices that weren't there. And it's going to unite the world under a single government out of fear. And see, we started that last December. And they're saying that some people, now I didn't hear that, but some people heard their names being called. And this boy in Brazil, he jumped off a building because he thought God was calling him. Like, that's insane. Are y'all reading all this? I mean, okay, it says, but one man. Okay, so they're hearing all these things, different countries. They're hearing, like the Japanese were hearing stuff, whispers in their own language, but the sky was silent. But they're hearing stuff. One guy hacked into the system, and he said it wasn't a. It was a command saying obey. It wasn't a voice. And it's saying that they're not going to need another test. They're just going to need us to obey. So yeah. So what somebody said in the chat earlier, are the aliens coming? Yeah, the aliens are still scheduled to come after Thanksgiving, but before Christmas. So I guess is Thanksgiving going to be the last holiday we have? I don't know. Let's see what y'all are saying. Have y'all heard that? Josh says, I wish I had a place in Alaska. You know what? In the summertime, yes, I hate cold. Oh my gosh, I can't do cold. I don't like it when it's too hot either. I don't know. So it can't be too hot or too cold. I can do hot better than cold though. I can't with the cold. Alaska is beautiful though, from what I've seen. All right. Robin says, this reminds me of that episode of Sheldon where he has an existential crisis and deciding that nothing is real. Then his mama brings a chicken into his room and scares him out of it. So what do y'all think about? But seriously, what about the aliens? I mean, they've been dancing around this thing all year with the aliens, right? It started last year with the fog. We had the weird fog. Look, I'm just saying this. This has been the weirdest year for so many things. We had the weird fog, then we had all the wildfires, right? In the places where the fog was really, really bad, then you had the wildfires. What's going on outside? So you can't tell me that, they're unrelated. And then you had this blue stuff in the rain. Remember that? It was like this color blue. It was weird. Rain isn't that color. And you had the flooding in weird places, like even in, where was it? Detroit? Somewhere like that, like flooding. Really, really weird. Massive flooding in places we don't usually see it. All kind of weirdness. Aliens all over the sky. It's been an insane year. And, we're not focused as much on the aliens as we were. But now they're saying, yeah. The New York Post is saying, hey, y'all, by the way, the aliens, they're coming in November and they're not friendly. They're hostile. How do you know all this? I don't know, but I'm just saying, here's the thing. With Project Bluebeam, and I've tried to explain this to, my kids and stuff, maybe not with aliens, but something that's easier to understand. But if you saw zombies, like coming up the driveway, and they looked real, you couldn't see through them. They looked like real zombies. You would be scared, right? Wouldn't you be trying to close the doors? And what if you could hear them? And what if they did? Like, I don't know how real is this going to be. If you're hearing voices and it's speaking to you, are you going to think it's real? And how far does that go to scare you? If you're hearing voices, what if they can touch you? Can they touch you? How far can they go? And are you going to take the chance? Like, because if I see a zombie coming up the driveway, am I going to take the chance that it's Project Bluebeam, or am I going to just hit it or run? Or, I don't know. These are things I'm not prepared for. But if aliens head to Walmart between Thanksgiving and Christmas, they might turn back. Hey, that might be how we save the world. And I think that would be great. Uh, Sanchez. Hello, hello. Glad you're here. Yeah. So what do y'all think? Should we be concerned about an alien invasion? I don't know. I mean, everybody says it's coming, so I guess we should be prepared, but I'm not really sure how you prepare for that. I mean, yeah, like they can like use the I'm assuming they can pulverize you with light or something. I don't know. Doesn't seem like there's much we can do. That's going to ruin my Black Friday plans. Yeah, well, you can get stuff online if they don't take out the internet. But that's the thing. Are they going to and are we going to even make it to Christmas? Never think the voices are real. Thank you. Thank you so much. Much love from Phoenix. Well, it's good to see you, Phoenix. That's a long ways away. All right, let's do one more. One more. Let's see. Oh, here's one. All right, I'm going to have to take out the sound of this one, but I'm not going to have to read it. It's just going to show you some pictures, okay? I don't think this one had any words. It was just music anyway. Let's see. But it's very interesting. You'll see a lot of symbolism here. So, let me go back. Now, there are some things I can't show to my mother because she would have a come apart. This would be one of them. Okay, but just look at the symbolism there, right? Kind of reminds me of the sticks in Delphi, doesn't it to you? Which the thumb out means I love you. But you'll see some of... Just keep watching. Now that one does not have the thumb out. Did you see that? Let me back that up. Because this is the international I love you, right? But where'd we go? Watch it again and you'll see that the thumb is not out on this one. Wait. Let me get there. Back it up a little bit more. There we go. See? Very, very decidedly no thumb out. Okay? So keep looking. Now this one bothered me. Now understand this. I have a lot of family. So not to say, not trying to bash anyone. I have a lot of family on my mom's side who are Catholics, okay? And I was christened Catholic when I was a wee little girl. I am not Catholic now, but I was. I'm Protestant now. But no hate at all to the Catholics. Like I said, my family is Catholic, lots of them. But when I see stuff like this, it's very disturbing to me because I do have family. So tell me, yeah. I don't understand. Okay, so we're going over from the beginning, but you see the symbolism in that? That is very disturbing to me, because I believe a lot of people are very good people, it's just like every time that I get on here and I talk about the Freemasons, or if I say anything, even in my real life, if I say anything, these people, lots of people that I know, and people on here, they just, pretty much crucify me. I know, blah, blah, blah. So and so is a Freemason and they're a wonderful person, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that every person who participates in something is horrible. I'm just saying there is an intersection, okay, between this type of stuff. And there is a very, very real intersection between some of this. All right. And you can like it or not like it, believe it or don't believe it. It is true. And it's very disturbing for, when you know people in there. And so understand what I'm saying. Not everybody is evil. So don't think that. Let's see. There is a lot hiding in plain sight. And that is very true. And I have to walk very, very carefully because y'all know what industry I work in. And I have to I really just don't say anything. Okay. I say stuff here. But there are a lot of people I've watched that kind of get into both camps of religion, Freemasonry, stuff like that. So, and some occultic stuff. So it is a big booger of stuff. So what did y'all think about some of these conspiracies? I know some of them were tinfoil hat. Yeah, tinfoil hat. Do you think there's truth in some of this? I don't know. What do you think about the aliens? Yes, it is better to not make waves at work. Absolutely. I can't afford to do that. Yes, absolutely. All right. Did you enjoy this? I like watching stuff. I like watching conspiracies. Now, here's the disturbing thing. My what I started going down the rabbit hole into 2011, which I always, okay, let me just say, I was down the rabbit hole before that, but I didn't like take that deep dive, like, woo, like that run and leap. I kind of just like was on the edges, like on the edges and the early parts, the shallow parts of the rabbit hole before 2011. And then in 2011, I just took like a run and leap and went way down that rabbit hole. And I've been down the rabbit hole since. And, even at that, there's a lot of things that I don't believe. And that and then there's a lot of things I put on the shelf. Now, when I took that deep dive, that flying leap into the rabbit hole in 2011, even most of what I heard, I was like, even when it was very compelling evidence, okay, I was still on the fence. I was like, oh, it can't be that bad. It can't be that bad. I'd be like, I know what you're saying, and I see the evidence that you're giving to me, and I acknowledge that this might be true, but I also can't believe it could be that bad. And so I had a list of things that I was convinced of. I had a list of things that are like, oh, that's kind of hard for me to swallow. I'm not sure. I see it's compelling, but it's kind of hard for me to swallow. And then I had a list of things that are absolutely not. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Now, since then, all of the things, of course, all of the things I believed are mainstream. Like everybody knows this is true now. Okay. It's just simple things like your phone is spying on you, like your phone listens to you. That's absolutely right. And that even kind of bordered on some of those things like, well, in 2011, when I would try to tell people, like, I think your phone is listening to you. Like, I'm looking at this technology, I'm looking at stuff, I'm looking at patents, I'm looking at stuff, and I'm like, why would you have a patent for this if you're not going to use it? And you're looking at this stuff, it's like, okay, this is real evidence. So why would you create it? Okay. So there was still that list of things of it could very well be true. I see the evidence, but I don't really want to believe it because it is too terrifying for me to believe. Okay, all those things are true. So when I've got two piles of stuff that can move over, it's absolutely true. From 2011 to 2025, every bit of it documented. We all know it. Then I have this list of things that, oh, no way. And I would tell you, there's still a few things on that list, but they're no longer no way. They're like, I really don't think so. But I've been wrong about a lot of things. So I'm on that. I don't think so, but it's not impossible. So now every rabbit hole, every conspiracy, I'm like, I've learned enough in the last however many years that is, that I don't really know. I mean, I want to know, but I don't know. And the things that are too terrible for my mind to know, I already, they're true. So there's very few conspiracies that I don't believe. There are still some I'm like, I don't know. Like, yeah, there were a few tonight. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it's some of those things were on that maybe shelf for me. Like, I don't know. Maybe. I gotta have to see some more proof, maybe some more time. Other things are like, yeah, that's probably, I'm looking at it like, unfortunately, that's probably going to be true, as we'll see over time. Let me see what y'all are saying. Yeah, I had just stuck my head into the rabbit hole. True. Oh, it's okay. Yeah, I'm fixing to leave anyway. Sleep is one. Yeah, for me too. Good night, Josh. Good to see ya. Yeah, Ninja. It's because we don't want to believe people are so evil. Yeah, that's exactly it. You hit the nail on the head, Ninja. Exactly. I think that was the whole thing when I started. And let me tell you where I started. I started coming apart at 9/11. Okay. Because for years I heard things that were, when people would tell me, I'd be like, I don't want to hear it. I want to hear it. I want to hear it. That's not true. That's not true. My mind could not. My mind could not. And I can't talk about that here. But what I am going to say is that was the first time that my mind unraveled. And that was the first time that I woke up and thought, what kind of planet do I live on? And so, and it was sheer out evidence. And so when I started unraveling there, and it took months for me to really unravel all the way. When I started unraveling there, I'm like, what the heck? What else don't I know? So yeah, that was shocking. And then there was so much worse. It's like, you know what? That wasn't the worst thing I learned. No. That was so not the worst thing. Oh, thank you, Ninja. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, I am going to call it a night too because it is Sunday and I do have to work tomorrow, and I forgot about that, so I have to get up as well. I always enjoy hanging out with y'all. Tell me if you find a good conspiracy or something you want me to talk about. Remember, I'm on TikTok. Tag me in it on Silky Southern Tea, or if it's spooky, you can do Spooky Southern Tea, or email me the link, whatever. So I know. I love a good conspiracy theory, even if I think it's far fetched, because you never know. You just never know, right? All right. Yeah, I agree. It's not been the same. Absolutely. Oh, hey, hi, Hiawatha. That's hard to say. Hi, hello, Hiawatha. Good to know you've been out there. Robin, I love conspiracy theories, but don't believe most of them. My all-time favorite conspiracy theory is that the royals are lizard aliens. Got to admit that explains Charles's ears. I tell you what, yeah, that's a good one. That is a good one. Like, you know what? That always threw me about that. It's like, why would a man get up and say that there are reptiles? That's one that I'm still like, what? It's still one of those ones that I'm like, why would a perfectly normal seeming man get up and put his whole career on the line and tell people that there are aliens, they're reptilians, if there's not anything? I don't know. Like, I don't know. That's one of them ones that's still over there on that shelf. Like, I don't know. But I'll tell you what I've seen. Honestly, what I've seen of people, I'm like, you know what? That would just explain a lot of stuff. It really would. I'm okay with it. All right. Good night to y'all. I hope you have a great week. I will see you soon doing something, talking something. I don't know. Tell me what you want to talk about. We'll talk about it. All right. Stay safe out there. Whatever you do, just stay silky. Bye-bye.